So if you're new to the game, you probably don't really know what lane you want to go in or what their roles are. So I'm just gonna make this quick video talking about what the roles are, which champion fulfill those roles fairly easily, which champion are easy for every lane, and then you can just try them out whenever you want, right? So let's get into it. I'll start with the top lane because this is the lane I am most accustomed to. And if you play top lane, one of the few things you're going to want to do is scale like a monster. Top lane often in low yellow. Now, I know this is not always going to be the case, so don't chastise me. But top lane often gets left behind or focused by the jungler. No matter what happens, with the teleport changes, making it so you can only teleport to your lane, top lane has become kind of this lonely island where two people just fight head to head. Now, I'm gonna propose champions to you, right? You want a beefy champion that can stand his own ground. That is what top lane is. You want to farm, you want to fight 1v1, and you want to be able to do everything just by yourself. So the champions I'm gonna propose to you are basically fairly easy to play. They're not that expensive in the shop because I don't want you to buy champions that are super expensive and then regret buying them. But if you feel like the top lane is for you, the first champion I'm gonna recommend you is one that you probably know well because you've played it in the tutorial, I think. I'm not too sure. The first one is Garen. Now, Garen is very special. His passive is super easy to use. He just heals up whenever he takes damage, right? If you step away, you're just gonna heal back to full HP in like 15 seconds and boom, you're back in there. Your Q is a movement speed upgrade and it silences the person, it's a nice burst, and then your E is a good wave clear. Your ult is a point and click, delete someone I don't like. So, you know, Garen is really easy, but guess what? He's also really strong. Don't think that because champions are easy that they cannot be strong. That's not true. League of Legends is somewhat balanced about that, so be sure to try him out. I suggest him as the starting stone of top lane. He is the embodiment of what top lane wants to be. Now, in the top lane, you're going to be left alone a lot against your opponent, and you kind of just want to sit there and scale to be a monster in the team fight in the later stages of the game. So another champion I'm going to propose to you, which is also very easy to play and scales like a monster, is Nasus. Now, Nasus is a bit harder to play because he's somewhat weaker before level 6. You can get pushed into your tower, but he has a spell that makes his auto attack better, and you want to use that on the minions because it's going to make this spell deal more and more damage the more minions you kill with it, right? When people see Nasus, they're like, oh no, he's gonna stack forever, he's gonna be unstoppable. You become extremely tanky and you just stack, you deal crazy damage late game, you can two-shot the AD carry if you farm well. This is a champion that focuses on farming your lane. You want to farm your minions. If you struggle with farming, this can be a good champion to try to improve at it. If you don't care about farming and just want to fight, then go for someone like Garen instead, who's just gonna farm inherently with his W. Nasus is really focused on farming. You don't care about the champion kill. The champion kills are gonna happen later no matter what. It's part of the game. Right now, you want to focus on your farm. Now, there is a third option for the top lane. Most other wave are going to have two options because two is plenty, but the top lane has such a wide role that I just wanted to give you more options. This option is going to really focus on how to be tanky, right? So all those two champions are really tanky, but this champion is going to focus on disrupting the enemy backline, making your enemy more powerful, making your teams more powerful in the fight. Your enemies are going to be running away from you, they're going to be focusing you, you're going to be super tanky, life is going to be good. Your ultimate is a point and click, big ball of bowling, just destroying all of the enemy, and I name Malphite. Malphite is crazy, right? He's just gonna be tanky. He struggles a bit in the early game, kind of like Nasus, but when team fight hits, oh boy, you just ultimate in their backline. You're gonna knock up everybody. Your team is gonna be thankful for you. You're gonna win the game by yourself. This is kind of the best of both worlds. So these are three options I would really recommend for the top lane. I would start with Garen and then go if you want to be more tanky towards the Malphite. If you like Garen, stay on him. And if you feel like you just want to farm the whole wave, which I do sometimes, go for the Nasus. Keep in mind, these aren't like the best champion that ever were in the top lane for those specific roles, but they definitely are the easiest. Now, we're gonna go to the jungle, right? Jungle is the PvE role of the game. It's very simple. You just kill monsters and then you gank enemy lanes, and you have champions that focus on killing monsters, and you have champions that focus on ganking enemy lanes. They're all going to be fairly tanky. They're all going to do fairly big amount of damage. You can build them however you want. Most junglers are very, very versatile depending on the game. The first one I'm going to talk about is one that focuses on killing minions, farm jungle, just ignoring the rest of the game. I'm going to talk about Nocturne, because Nocturne has a really good ultimate. How do you get your ultimate? Well, you get to level 6. How do you get to level 6? Well, you farm minions. The more you farm, the better you're going to be. Your ganks are pretty good. Level 3 to 5. It's not the best, but it's very serviceable. However, once you get your ultimate, you can just pop your ultimate. Everybody on the map is going to panic, by the way. The ultimate just makes the map dark, and then you're going to teleport to somewhat nearby champion, right? You basically click an enemy champion. If you're within a certain range, which is still fairly big, you're just going to rush at them. You cannot miss this, and they're going to freak the fuck out, okay? Nocturne is really good. He's the nightmare of every player, and he's consistently been at the top of the jungle. So I would really, really recommend Nocturne, actually. He's a versatile jungler. You can build him pure burst or to be somewhat tanky, like Garen. And he's just a menace post level 6, which is where most of the game happen. You're going to have so many opportunities to gank, and you're not even going to have to work for it. So I really recommend Nocturne. If you want a jungler that focuses on ganking lanes and putting your friends ahead, putting your teammates ahead, really ruining people's life, just repeat ganking a lane to make them suffer like they should suffer, then the jungler for you is Nunu. Why Nunu? Because Nunu has a really easy way to clear the wave and to regen HP. He can basically just eat monsters and it's going to heal him a ton. He also has a W that is just him rolling up a snowball and gaining movement speed, and whenever he hits someone with the snowball, they just get knocked up. It's a really good gank setup, and it's just one skill. You can use it literally level 1. So what a lot of Nunu will do is they will clear one of their buffs, gank level 2 a lane, take some damage, get the flash of the lane, go to their other buff, eat it, get their HP back, get their level 3, then gank the same lane at level 3. They don't have their flash anymore, right? So imagine your Nunu, you start at your blue, then you gank mid, whee! You get a flash, you deal some damage, you go to your red, you go to your raptor, then you re-gank the same lane, whee! They're screwed, okay? So Nunu is really good. He's not going to deal that much damage, however, you can build him full ability power, which is still going to do a fairly decent amount of damage. I just feel like if you want to deal damage, Nocturne is better. However, few junglers beat Nunu in terms of raw gank potential. You can just be literally everywhere across the map, and he's really easy to play. He's really fun to play. I don't see why you shouldn't play him. And that's that. Those are the two junglers I would recommend for anyone trying out the jungle. They're not expensive as well. So if you just feel like doing PvE all game, well, most of the early game, not having to worry about laning against someone, and you feel like the game is more of a game of chess and you feel the macro is more essential, then by all means go for the junglers. They're fun, versatile, affect all of the map, and it's arguably one of the better roles in the game because you can decide the outcome of every lane if you so wish. We're going to go now to the mid lane. Mid lane is very weird. In low yellow, what I would recommend for a mid wave, for a mid game, mid lane, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling upon my words. It's been a long day. Anyways, what I would recommend for a mid laner is a mid laner that has good wave clear. What does that mean? It's a mid laner that can just push their wave to the enemy tower and then leave their wave on cooldown. They can do that whenever they want. That way you don't even have to play the game. You can just roam and assist your jungler whenever they need assistance, right? If you're mid lane, let's say you're here, you push your wave to their tower, and then you can assist your jungler with Dragon. You can assist your jungler with Baron. You can assist your jungler with ganking bot or top. You can assist your jungler with invading the enemy jungle, right? All those things I'm doing with my mouse on the screen, you can just do that from there. And whenever you do this, you come back, the wave's gonna crash back into your tower. You shove again, then you do it all over again. It's crazy how effective that simple strategy is at all level of plays. You'll see pros doing it all the time, I guarantee you. So shoving the wave is imperative. Now, those champions I'm going to talk about are champions that are really good at shoving the wave and at roaming. Roaming is when you help your jungler around the map, right? You're a roaming agent, kind of. So the first champion is really, really easy. She's good at it. She is not the best at shoving waves earlier on, but she does get there fairly fast. And she's really easy to farm with, and she has some of the best gank potential at any stage of the game. And I'm talking about Annie. Now, Annie is a famous champion for being super easy. You cannot go wrong with her. And what playing easy champion mean is that you're gonna, one, be able to learn how to move your champion correctly, how to play the game, and you're gonna learn more than just playing your champion. You're gonna learn how to play the game, how to play the map, how to help the jungler, how to help your bot lane, how to help everybody, right? The game isn't just you clicking button and being your champion. It's about all the knowledge that you need to take in, and playing an easy champion really helps with that. So Annie is a really good champion to do this. Another good champion that's going to be good at shoving and at roaming is going to be Echo. Now, Echo and Annie are really different. Annie is more of a mage. She's going to get a stun. She is really good at stunning people and at doing damage from her distance, sort of. She does have the best range in the game, but she does have a pretty good range. And Echo, in the meantime, is a melee assassin fighter. His ult basically brings him back in time to the position where you were at 5 seconds ago, and it heals you almost fully. It's insane. And his Q, basically, his first skill you're going to take is just him throwing a little ball, and the ball is going to kill all the minions. You throw it twice in your wave, level 1, and it's going to clear the whole wave, right? So he's really good at shoving, he's really good at roaming, and he has some instant gank. His burst is really strong, whereas Annie is more of a consistent damage late game. Echo is going to burst everybody super fast. So you've got one melee assassin fighter and one bursty mage girl. You get to choose. They're both some of the easiest champs you can play, so that's why I am recommending them to you. Now, we are going to the bot lane. Bot lane has both the ADC and the support, so there are 4 champions left. For ADC, there are kind of all the same, so I just took one that focuses on the movement, but you can really trade her with anybody. She's from the hit series Arcane, which you might have seen. She is Jinx. Jinx is really, really good. She carries late game, she carries early game, she has a ton of damage, she offers everything up front, and it's really insane to play a game with her. She gets off killing people, so her passive makes her really excited whenever she kills someone or she deals a takedown, giving her big movement speed and big attack speed, making her a terror in long team fights. She is one of the best ADCs, I'm not even kidding. ADC is a really hard role, however, you're going to want to learn how to position properly, and she really emphasizes on that with all of her skill set. So I think she's one of the best ADC to learn. If you're learning ADC, just get her and try to be good at her. You won't regret it. Another option is going to be very easy, because you notice how I said all ADCs are the same? Well, not really. There's a little faction of the ADCs that are called the AP carries, which is basically when you take a mid laner that doesn't really belong in the mid lane anymore and you put him bot lane. One of those champion, and the champion that started all of this, is Ziggs. Ziggs just throws bomb all the time. He's off your screen. If you like being super far away from your enemy, he is your guy. He almost has only skill shot, but how safe he is really makes him stand out. And he's just really, really strong all around. You will never get killed unless you really misplace yourself. You're off the screen, on the other dimension. chilling over there, throwing your bombs away, ulting mid lane, chilling everywhere, and you're going to do a lot of AP damage, so he's a good option if your team is full of physical fighter. He's a good mage for that, and he farms really, really well. His playstyle is very different from other ADCs, however, since he's not an ADC technically, so I wouldn't recommend him too much. However, if you're looking to spice things up, he's definitely your Yordle. For the support, it's going to be really easy. You've got 3 kinds of support. I'm only going to talk about 2 of them because the third kind is too hard, I think, for new players to really get into. Those 3 kinds are basically Enchantress, that's 1, the tanky support, Engaging, that's 2, and the damaging support, okay? Damaging support are going to be like Brand, Pike, Annie. You can play Annie support, Veigar, whatever. Those are going to be damaging support. We won't talk about those today, because those take a fairly good understanding of the game and a fairly good understanding of what they're capable of to really pull off. I'm going to talk about Enchantress and tanky support. So the Enchantress, I'm going to start with the easiest one to play. She's also very OP. She might get nerfed, but I don't think so. I'm talking about Sona. Sona is really good. She's just insane. I don't even know how to say it. Because she's an Enchantress, she can heal everybody, she can deal damage, she can give movement speed. She can give movement speed to her whole team, and her ultimate is insane for Enchantress, right? She can just decide a bunch of people and stun them in a line. It's kind of insane when you think about it for Enchantress, so Sona definitely up there. The more the game goes on, the more cooldown reduction you're going to get, and the more spells you're going to be able to use, essentially. You're going to be able to heal your whole team, or give them more damage, or give them more movement speed. She is ultra adaptive, and she is one of the best and one of the less dangerous and hard Enchantress to play. Now, a lot of people might say Yuumi here. There's a reason why I'm not going to propose Yuumi to anybody. 1, she's really expensive, so if you don't like her, you just spent a bunch of blue essence for nothing. The second part is that the biggest part of the game is positioning. For any role, positioning is going to be key. Yuumi never teaches you that, so you can play Yuumi, but you're never going to get better at the game. If you just play Yuumi, you're going to get good at playing Yuumi, but then it's not really playing League of Legends, right? So I think Sona is a better champion just because you decide at least your own movement. She is very strong as well, and that's just that. If you want to play support because you hate CSing and you just want to scrap, but you don't want to buff people, you just want to engage, throw your anchor at somebody, pin them to the ground, throw a waterfall at someone, search no further than Nautilus, which is going to be the last champion I'm going to propose. Nautilus is really good. He's very naughty Nautilus. Basically, the main reason you want to play him is because he's got a lot of crowd control. What does that mean? He can stun a person in the enemy team for like 6 seconds by himself. He can lock down someone so hard they won't ever be able to play the game. And on top of that, because there's another champion that can do this, why I think he's easier and I'm proposing him instead of Leona, which you can look up if you want, is because his ultimate is a point and click, whereas Leona you need to kind of aim it well. His ultimate is basically just F you to one person in the team. He smashes his anchor on the ground, and then waterfall sprouts from the ground until they reach that person, and they knock everyone up in the meantime. That means you can just point and click and delete someone from the game. That's it. That's it. So he's a really good support. I think he's the best engaged support out there if you're learning the game. Leona and Thresh are probably better overall if you want to learn those at some point, but for learning purposes, I think Nautilus is insanely good. With that being said, I hope you learned a little bit about the roles. I hope you learned a little bit about the champions and what those roles are supposed to do. If you did learn anything, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to have a ton more of those things coming up for you. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, play well, improve.